You know, when you hear about somebody accused of taking advantage of sick and desperate people, the last person you'd expect to be the culprit, a church pastor. But that is exactly what ABC's Brian Ross has uncovered.
The leader of the Roman Catholic Church can be found at the Vatican. The Church of England is overseen by the Archbishop of Canterbury. And then there's what's called the Genesis 2 Church of Health and Healing, overseen in the U.S. by a man who calls himself an archbishop, 59-year-old Mark Grennan, claiming that what's in this glass is a miracle cure for virtually any disease.
This is our sacrament.
Preying on the desperate and vulnerable, including women with breast cancer and the parents of autistic children.
I would like to see somebody go get these people.
It was a cloudy Saturday morning in Southern California as our ABC News investigative team waited for the arrival of the Archbishop. He had no idea we were on his tail. On this day, the Archbishop's cathedral was a hotel conference room. His vestments, a black leather jacket, and a bejeweled Panama hat. And his sermon to people who were charged $450 a head seems to have come right out of the book of shams.
I got people who are curing with major stuff just with that. From prostate cancer to brain cancer to autism.
All by drinking what he calls the sacraments of the Genesis 2 Church of Health and Healing, available for anyone who makes what is called a donation.
It's like watching a really good magician's show.
Dr. Stephen Novella of the Yale School of Medicine has spent much of his career exposing all kinds of medical quacks.
We're looking at the best, the people who have hit upon something that sells.
Using slick internet videos.
I could say that I've been totally cured.
And under the guise of a church, the Archbishop and his supposed miracle cure, called MMS for Miracle Mineral Solution, are attracting an online congregation of followers that they say numbers in the hundreds of thousands.
Vulnerable, desperate people are always going to be targets for con men. If somebody swoops in with the miracle solution to your health problems, there's a huge emotional motivation to believe them.
To find out what's in this miracle cure, we ordered a shipment of MMS, $150 for these small bottles. We took our miracle cure to a respected testing laboratory, and the results were as expected. Nothing miraculous about it. Essentially, a kind of chlorine.
MMS is an industrial chemical. It's an industrial bleach.
Dr. Paul Wong is the Senior Vice President of Autism Speaks.
The fact that anybody would suggest that you should give this to somebody is ridiculous. This is scary, dangerous stuff.
In fact, look what happened when we poured some of it, undiluted, onto a pair of jeans. The denim turned white through both pant legs. And Dr. Wong says even at the prescribed much smaller dose, it's still a danger.
And that's what it's doing in the gut of the kids who are given this.
Yet MMS is being aggressively pushed by the church to parents of autistic children desperate for a cure, says Roland Eggers, the father of 12-year-old Mitchell.
You thrive on this illusion that you're going to somehow fix your kid.
That's good, put that in there.
Or that one day you're going to unautismize your child.
But Eggers says he quickly knew to stay away from MMS for his son.
Let's walk down to the chicken coop.
After doing just a little online checking.
You are doing it at the expense of these defenseless children.
Did Sylvia love sailing?
But it was only after the death of the wife of Doug Nash, a retired NASA scientist, that the government began to investigate who was peddling the miracle MMS solution. On a sailing trip to the Pacific with his wife Sylvia, friends offered her a small container of MMS as protection from malaria.
About 15 minutes later, she began to indicate that she was feeling bad.
What were the symptoms?
Diarrhea, nausea, vomiting, and that increased in intensity. I felt her go slump, and her eyes flipped up in her head and defocused. I think that's when she actually died, when her heart stopped.
Right there?
Right there.
In your arms?
In my arms, yeah.
An autopsy could not determine the cause of Sylvia Nash's death. And the church denies MMS played any role to the outrage of her husband.
MMS did kill my wife. There's no question in my mind.
In the wake of the death of Sylvia Nash, federal authorities opened an investigation of the MMS network. resulting in the conviction of one of the MMS distributors, Daniel Smith, now serving 4 years in prison for selling MMS as a drug.
He turned a profit, and people were buying it, believing that it would help them.
So by calling it a sacrament of a church that they've created, they're still open to prosecution?
They could still be prosecuted, yes, if they are selling it in order to cure diseases and are telling people that it will cure diseases.
Protocols, sacraments that we
The Archbishop says the church is collecting donations for the miracle cure, not selling it.
help us, help others.
But as we saw in our undercover investigation, Grennan continues to make his outrageous claims.
Just with the 1 drop an hour, from prostate cancer to brain cancer to autism.
Plus HIV,
We get rid of that quick. It's easy.
leukemia in children,
We got some kids with leukemia. We did 10 hours a day, okay?
Mr. Brennan, Brian Ross from ABC News. Can we talk to you for a second, please?
but once outside his hotel conference room pulpit,
We're a church.
the Archbishop didn't seem very eager to talk about his miracle cure.
Are you harming
Okay.
people, do you think, with this, sir?
No.
You're
Not at
not?
all.
Not at all.
No.
And you stand
Yeah,
by
no.
that this can cure
Yes.
all these diseases?
We cure many things. ABC's. Who owns that? The Rothschilds? Huh?
What
Who
are you
owns
talking
these
about?
banks?
Are you really serious?
You're really lost, man. You are so out of touch. You are so out of touch.
Do you
with
honestly?
reality.
Yes, let me ask you a question.
You
Do you
are
let me ask you, can I-
ABC, CBS, Fox News. You're all liars. It's all scripted. This guy's an actor.
Are you really serious about this? You
You're
think
an
this?
actor.
No, I'm
Get
a
this actor
reporter.
out of my way.
And you honestly believe this can cure cancer?
You're an actor, okay?
I'm a reporter.
You're a piece of that they say in Spanish.
But just leave.
Go check
We
out the
are
facts,
busy
okay?
with our church service.
I've asked for
You-
live
you-
interviews.
Yes.
And I've got the facts. And you people are liars. And you're just an actor. You're a puppet. You little puppet. Look at you. Look at me, sir. Do you know this about the FDA? Sir, you don't know what the hell you're talking about.
I do know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about,
you
sir.
don't know. You're a
Have you-
scripted actor.
have you seen
That's
these?
all you are. Enjoy yourself, buddy. Stupid son of a bitch.
MMS as a medicine is a fraud. MMS is not a medicine. It's a dangerous substance.
You're preying on desperate mothers and fathers. How can you not call that evil?
For Nightline, Brian Ross, ABC News, New York.